create that space, that crease that he was looking for. And once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Zerline out now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15. Before this next drive gets going, we need to discuss the Hall of Fame inductees. There will be 8 in the 2019 class. We got Champ Bailey, Tony Gonzalez, Ty Law. Who else am I forgetting in there?
Well, how about a big guy, a lineman, Kevin Mawai, who was absolutely terrific in his career. How about Ed Reed with the Baltimore Ravens and the great job he did in the secondary there. Pat Bowlen, Gil Brandt as contributors, the owner of the Broncos and the longtime scout with the Cowboys.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. John Johnson with the INT, and they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
On first down, it's Gurley. And he's got room. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. For Gurley, the end to his season, Charles, was interesting. The late season injury, everybody said, look, we swear he's 100%, but he didn't get the carries or production that he normally got.
I thought what was very strange about it was that it happened in the last 2 games. 5 touches in the NFC Championship game at New Orleans. Then only 10 carries in the Super Bowl for 35 yards. But against Dallas in the divisional playoffs, he ran for 116 yards and looked like his old self. So unless there's an injury, they've got some explaining to do in Los Angeles about why Todd Gurley's usage went way down in the 2 most critical games of the year.
Now on second down, this is Gurley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. Gurley's got the first down and then some. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Todd Gurley with his 2nd touchdown of this opening quarter. And the Rams add on to their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Well, CD, the NFL held its awards show the night before the Super Bowl, and as you and I had speculated the last few weeks, Patrick Mahomes, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, and for the 2nd straight season, how about Aaron Donald, Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, Donald was expected. We knew that was going to happen. Mahomes, we thought would happen. There was that school of thought that maybe Drew Brees might walk away with the MVP since he's never won one, but Mahomes a deserving winner. How about the...
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. It's a big play. Roethlisberger to Brown. 42 yards. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually...
And Big Ben intercepted a third time. Picked off by Aqib Talib. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. Goff will lead the Rams up here 1st and 10 at their own 42. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the 1st quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a... You've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
And he works free. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Back live now to begin the 2nd quarter with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's the Rams with a football to get us going. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving.
Value free, value free. Cut, 180.
Now Goff will hand this one to Gurley. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. And now running right through him. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
From the red zone now, Goff. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Brandon Cooks from 19 yards away. And the Rams add on to their lead.
I know a lot of people look at these games and think, all right, this thing's done. Let's have some sportsmanship. Let's not try and score. You should never do that in the NFL. I've seen big leads blown, and teams that look like they had a victory, all of a sudden we're going home with a loss.
So the call's made by Sean McVay. They're going to go for 2. And that'll set them back 5. Now Goff will lead the Rams up to go for 2.
Not, white 20. Orange. Super.
Here's Goff. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite, but in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. but condensed near the goal line on a two-point conversion. All that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Well, off topic, but we'd be remiss if we didn't point out what else was happening Super Bowl weekend. The Madden 19 Club Championship, second major this season, 2 more to follow. And our winner, Pauvin, representing the Oakland Raiders. He took down the Vikings, and your favorite, Charles, Ibuprofen. He had to reach for the ibuprofen after a 38-24 beatdown in the final.
Well, if he was representing the Oakland Raiders, the Vikings went down, and they went down hard. That's how the Raiders do it.
How about Pauvin, though, wins $100,000 for his efforts, also won Super Bowl tickets for the next day, unselfishly gave them to his father and his brother.
How about that? That's pretty cool. Congratulations, Pauvin. Way to go.
The Steelers, of course, had all the questions lingering with Le'Veon Bell. Tip of the cap to James Conner. He really has filled in nicely.
He prepared himself as if he were going to be the starter right from week 1. And I got to see him in preseason, and you saw a little bit of everything. His ability to run inside, also run to the perimeter, catch the ball in the backfield. And how about his season opener against Cleveland? They didn't win the game, but he played awfully well, 135 yards rushing, and he helped close out a big win at Tampa Bay in week 3 on Monday Night Football with some nice runs down the stretch.
The second-year man, Smith-Schuster, coming off a terrific season, 111 catches, over 1,400 yards, and 7 scores as well.
And he could very well slide into the #1 receiver role depending on how events transpire in this offseason. But even if that doesn't happen, already has universal respect within his own locker room, was named this year's team MVP for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Back to the ground, this time with Bell. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
There's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Roethlisberger will stay out there, and they're going to go for it on 4th.
Hey. 4 down.
They'll indeed go for it with Roethlisberger. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Mark Barron, and his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. Now they'll pitch it back to Gurley. Gurley's got the first down and then some. Touchdown, L.A. Todd Gurley on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Rams.